Nah, out. Who we got? Daniel, what's up, man? Yeah, it's been getting cold over here. Yeah. How's it been down there? Making sure I'm getting the right part of the shot here. Drop my hide. Yeah, it's been getting pretty cold. So y'all see, hey Daniel, well, shout out to Daniel, longtime friend of the program. See how hard this is, like rawhide now. We're gonna take some of these rags that I soaked with warm water, and we're gonna try to rehydrate this and get it into a brine bath. A little chilly. I prefer the hotter weather. I'm not surprised. I mean, probably you're born and bred in Texas, so that makes sense. I'm gonna have to shut this door probably. Out, 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 out. Mike, what's up, man? Let me get that hide back up here and start working that thing. All right, so here's my plan on this. I got these rags, and they're kind of like field capacity type. Like you can squeeze just a little bit out of them. And I'm gonna put these over this wood here and try to rehydrate this. Just hide this way. This is my first idea. Got a new hide too that I'm working on. Probably be fleshing that some today. Oh, that's the main clamp. Hold on. Move this aside for a second. Let's do this. That doesn't seem to be making much contact, so I'm gonna try to just do it myself here. I just want to rehydrate this a little bit so it flexes for me without cracking. You don't want to get these sopping wet. It's already starting to give a little bit. Welcome. Mike is making stuff. I'm a little out of it. It's been a few days since my last stream. Got to get back in the swing of things, but I will. Put that there for a second. I don't want to get too much salt on the back of this hide, but this is a not as nice as your microphone. I don't think you have a pretty nice one. This is just like a cheap lavalier mic, like something you would see on TikTok. Shout out Daniel Gandar, longtime member, and Mike also. Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate everybody coming here. Right now we're working on this deer hide that over Thanksgiving. This is the young buck hide. This is like I don't know if you call it a 3-pointer. It's just a little spike basically. A yearling. I don't know. It had more than the spikes. Probably 2-year-old. And his hide is like almost like rawhide now. And I didn't stretch it on a board, so right now I have to like work it back out. So what I'm trying to do is rehydrate it a little bit. It's been salted and scraped and fleshed and all of that, but it just needs rehydration. so I can get it in this. I'm going to put it into a pickling brine. We'll see if this works. Just trying to tease it out here. Somebody got a better idea how I can get this water into the hide without dunking it? I don't want to dunk it too much. For us, this is a wildlife. Oh, is that right? I'm gonna guess that's is that Japanese? Did you figure out the language there? I'm really bad with those. Looks like Mandarin, maybe. Oh, I see. Okay, that's okay. You know, we don't discriminate between all sorts of different people. We like all. Ask Mike. We like to get we like the world audience. Well, I imagine. Does somebody clarify where he's from? Chinese. Okay. And there are parts of China where it's very cold, and so if you're out in those elements, I'm sure there's people out there. In fact, I'm quite sure there are people that make things out of furs up there. That's what this is. Wow. Yeah, guys, this is like rawhide. I don't want to break it. I might dump. I have a second, a plan B here, which is to dunk it in this tank. That's plan B. It is a deer, white-tailed deer. This is a male white-tailed deer. Behind me is another male white-tailed deer. Down in Texas, you guys got those what are those deer with the spots on them, Mike? That you're allowed to basically hunt all year because they're invasive. They come from India. I forget what kind of deer those are called. The ones with the spot, they keep spots their whole life. Thank you, Magical Crow. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, right now I'm trying to rehydrate this so I can get it into this this pickling bath that I have. It might just have to get dipped into there. It got dried out well, which is good. That's what I want. I'm hiding. So I dried it using salt, and I did a really excellent job of that because it's super dry like rawhide right now. It's going to take a little bit of time, I think, maybe, just for that water to kind of soak in there. Yeah, double tap that screen, like this video. Thank you to CSX for being here all the way from China. Shout out. We like our new folks. We also like our members and all the fam that come in. Appreciate all those people, the regulars that we have. I was real careful to scrape this one, you know, and get it. Wow, I got a little fiber on there. Scrape this one, get it. It was really well fleshed, and it was salted really well, a couple times. And I didn't hang it on a board. I did with that one behind you. That one was hung on a board and stretched out a little. I didn't really put much effort into stretching it. All right, so here's my plan B, guys. We're gonna it's starting to work outward a little bit. I just need it kind of in that spine area to loosen up so I can flatten it out. Daniel said, join the Discord. I agree. By the way, if you are tanning, here's a good example of what a wood tannin should look like. Like that's the thickness of it that you want. The hide behind me came from a really large buck. I could probably, while this is hydrating, I can kind of tell that story. So there was this, I guess this is a 10-pointer. It's kind of hard to get an idea how big these antlers are from where you are. These are some pretty nice size antlers from a large animal. This was about 250-pound animal, you know, very, very big. And I won't get into the gory stuff, but yeah, needless to say, it was very heavy. And it had really cool antlers. And unfortunately, one of them was damaged. So it was hard to save the skull. But the hide, you can see spots on the hide where the animal took shots from other from other bucks. Like it has injuries, previous injuries from other bucks. Pretty amazing. It's starting to work its way out. The way I was told was to take a towel and lay a towel over the whole thing, right? But I didn't want to waste a towel on that. Get a towel all nasty, salty and stuff. Is that right? Oh yeah, yeah. I know you guys have in China the medicine is the ancient medicine includes a lot of animal parts and antlers and horns and stuff. And I know they are pretty. And I'm not selling, so it's not a big deal. But at this moment, I'm not. Once these hides are like ready, I will. We're gonna make products and sell products with them mostly. But yeah, over in China, there's a big illegal trade in animal parts, and so they're probably more careful over there. And I don't blame them for that. Some of the things that in the United States that have gone uh, almost extinct have to do with them being taken for ancient Chinese medicine, like the abalone, which is a type of sea snail that we have on the West Coast. Is not extinct, but it's endangered, and so there's a bag limit on them. But people will take huge bags full, and they'll go down to San Francisco to the medicine market, is what I'll call it. Carrie, welcome. Li Ning, is that your name? CSX. Thanks for telling us. Hey, welcome to Li Ning from China. We're happy to have you here. I think that's Li Ning. Thank you for transliterating. I think that's a transliteration of the name there for us. Real outdoor living. Welcome. All right. Let's try to flip this thing back up on here. All right. So what I got is some rags under it. I'm trying to re-moisturize this hide here and get it to where I can put it into a vinegar bath or a pickling bath. Oh, I'm glad you had a great Thanksgiving. Did everybody have a great Thanksgiving here in the U.S.? Hopefully you did. You know, Thanksgiving is a time for family and to get stressed out and argue with people if you're me. If you're a difficult human like me. I'm trying to, right now, I'm working this thing against these rags I have moisturized. I'm trying to get it into this brine bath I've got ready. Well, I've got partially ready on the floor here. I've got other stuff to do on the live today besides this, but this is a good chunk of it here. Oh no, Carrie said, my eldest daughter, who is 40, was in the emergency room and was not able to get here for dinner, so we missed her terribly. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Pass along my love, and hopefully she's better, or we figured some of that out. Welcome to Carrie, longtime friend of the program. Sorry to hear that, Carrie. We do have woodworking here we're working on. We don't subtract. We just add. I've got a box I'm going to finish, but I have to do other stuff. I have to kind of realign this channel towards like bushcraft and some other stuff now. I'm glad she's okay. Carrie said she is okay. Li Ning says he lives in Shandong. Thank you for telling us that. That's really like that geographical information. That's good education for everyone here. Li Ning, thank you for contributing that. Oh no! Wow. Okay. Carrie said she had an ectopic pregnancy that they had to take care of. You know, hallelujah that you're in Washington State. Then glad you're not in Alabama. My goodness. That right there is an object lesson in why the law should be the way it was. I'm not going to get into politics, but that's an object lesson in why you know there has to be that availability out there. You could lose somebody that you love over the baby won't survive anyway. So it's not. There's no option of that. Yes, thank you. Carrie says she agrees with my unspoken thoughts, and that's my. I kind of hinted. I'm a hinter. I don't like to like lay everything out on the table. Read between the lines. I have a juxtaposition between what you see and what I am here. Just because I don't like to be an archetype. I'm not an archetype. I'm different than every other person. I think every person is unique until they try to fit themselves into boxes and just believe what's told to them wholesale when they have no experience. It's real quick to life will teach you to calm that stuff down quickly. For example, people with homophobia, they'll end up with a gay child. That's and then all of a sudden, you're like, well, you got this cognitive dissonance now because you never accepted people, and you have to now accept your child. That's the toughest part. That's tough for some. But if you have an open mind and you love everyone and you don't worry about that stuff, and you don't worry about making the politics of your life about how other people choose to be or how other people live, then you're in a good spot. Do as you should, bloom where you're sown and all that. Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for throwing in some Mandarin in there to make Lee feel at home, more at home. Stick around here, Lee, long enough, you might pick up some English, and maybe we can pick up some Mandarin. If the problem is we can't. There's no audio, so it's hard for us to learn, but we can pick some stuff up. 谢谢. Did I say that right? Mike, 谢谢. I think I'm starting to get this thing hydrated. I know every time I take it off the beam, I lose viewers, but I have to work it out here. It's getting a little softer. This thing doesn't want to stay in here though. I need to build a fleshing horse. Mainly off grid. What's up? It's the Sawyer in the house. We got a Sawyer in the house. Wish you lived close to here, man. I'll be having you cut stuff for me all the time. I wouldn't do nothing but bills. Mainly Off Grid's a Sawyer. Check out their channel. Check out Mike's channel. Look how helpful Mike is. Check out Real Outdoor Living's channel. Got a lot of stuff going on around here. A lot of people with lots of content that is international. These types of values and skills that we teach are skills you can use anywhere in the world. We like to think we have international audiences. And we like that. We like that about it, our channels, that we pull international audiences. Yeah, mainly Off Grid. Shout out, man. Big. I don't have a lot of Sawyers on here, and not a lot of Sawyers coming through. Love that profession. Love the idea. I've always wanted to have I will get eventually, Heather knows this, a lumber mill. We will have one of those. But you got a sweet one. So I got a level to go before that. Probably start with something cheaper. I do have a chainsaw with the right blades that I can mill, and the right size chainsaw, but I haven't done any milling yet with it. I definitely understand the value of a lumber mill. Here's one thing I know about lumber mills. Everyone I know who has a lumber mill does not regret purchasing a lumber mill. It's not a boat. Not a boat, folks. You have a guest? I have a guest. A little bit, yeah. A little bit, man, because I'm going to do stuff with bones and, you know, like a lot of people, I was a Boy Scout. So, but my bushcraft's going to deal with skins, handling skins, mostly. Specifically skins. And what's his name? Ron's supposed to be sending me a hatchet. I got an email the other day. So we'll do some whittling with the hatchet. But we're not going to do a whole lot of, I'm not going to do like building of shelters in here. That stuff I like to do. I'm definitely deep into that. Oh, Real Outdoor Living says he's going to get a lumber mill before the spring. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, like I said, I want one of those bad. I think even Ron has one of those things too, man. He's got like the cool tools, like the forge and all of that stuff, man. I don't know if y'all see a homemade by Ron sometimes. Dude's got an awesome channel. He made this knife with a flint and steel in it the other day. Pretty sweet, dude. Pretty sweet. Starting to work out where it's got a little elasticity to it. I'm not going to call it re-moisturized, but I think if I get this tank ready, I'm going to lay these on here. Well, I'm going to lay these on here. I'm going to lay it over here and let it kind of absorb in a little bit more. I'm going to pull my other one off and actually flesh that a bit today. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my salty brine pickling mixture correct. To give you an idea of how long this takes, I recently cut one of my hides that had been in tannin for a while, and it was not barely at all tan. You see this hide right here has fleshing that needs to be done to it. This is an even bigger animal. It's like a 250-pound buck right here. So there's fleshing that still needs to be done to this hide here. And you can see some spots on here where he was hit by antlers, right? There's one where it actually pierced through the hide. This was an injury he had previous to his death. And then I'm going to rehydrate this. This muskrat hide needs to be rehydrated as well. This is like rawhide as well. I got another rag for that. I got these antlers in here. I mean, I would love to have a forge and stuff to where I can make a knife. Ron announced the member giveaway and was like, Mike, I have 4 members. You got to go. I got to get a membership over there, man. Yeah, dude. He's got sweet stuff. Oh, Mainly Off Grid said, Calvin, I would love to get into what you're doing. Thank you, Mainly Off Grid. Yeah, I'm I'm going to be doing stuff like this every day, and you can learn from my mistakes. So I'll give you little tips, and as you start to harvest animals, I can help you through the process. Also, we'll throw my email on here, so if you just want to email and shoot the poo on email and kind of talk about it. I can tell you what I've learned and things I'm learning stuff all the time. And one of the things is about the Tanic baths and how strong they need to be, what kind of preparation you do to get a good result. Well, let's move this for a second. Oh. All right, here we go. This is straight up water right here. I'm going to add some vinegar. I'm just going to do an approximate amount here. We're going to do like about half this bottle. This is about 16 ounces. It's going to be a pretty acidic mixture. Can y'all see? Probably not. So that's vinegar. I added about a half a bottle. Let me move the camera so y'all can see a little better. All right, so we put vinegar in there. I know y'all missed that. We're going to go salt now. I'm using this, well, this is ice cream salt. There's no iodine in it. Want it pretty salty. I'm not even worried if it all doesn't dissolve in there right away. The other thing to do is to be sure that it's at an acidic pH. You can use a pH meter. I have one of those over there, but I'm pretty good with this stuff. Like, that's a very acidic mixture. With half this white vinegar, it's going to be like probably around 0. I'm hoping it doesn't take the hair off, actually. That's a pretty strong mixture there. A cap full of white vinegar and a gallon of tap water will make the pH like between 0 and 2. So I did a lot there. Smells almost like chlorine. It's interesting. Like it's making sodium chloride, it's forming chlorine in there. Interesting, huh? Chemistry. Old bull, what I'm trying to do is get the deer skin rehydrated. I dried it out. It got dried out with salt. I'm gonna bathe it in this bath right here. If I smoke it, I think you're a Native American guy. I think you guys typically would use brains and smoke it, but I'm gonna use a Tanic bath of bark. But what I got to do is I got to get it in here. You know, it's like rawhide right now. Give me your tips, old bull. I'm listening. Yep, I'm trying to rehydrate this thing. It's been sitting out. It's cold and it's dry. I'll probably put a towel over it. It looks like it's not going to want to rehydrate real easily in this. I'm going to try to get it in here. I was able to do this with my last hide. The fibers got to relax. Relax, fibers. I think the water is really cold too, so that's a factor also. Caleb in the house. Welcome, Caleb. What did Li Ning do? We got a new friend, Li Ning, from I can't remember the province in China, but He said it earlier. Generally, like, people don't always tan these furs. What they do is, I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off so I don't get my sweatshirt soaked in this stuff. This is probably, oh, sorry, microphone. Let's do this. Can y'all still hear me? Can y'all hear me? Old Bull, what's up? I need some tips. How do I rehydrate this hide? The land of Confucius. Correct. Correct. As opposed to the land of confusion, which is what I'm in right now. Don't you know it is a land of confusion? Something like that. Sorry, I just butchered that. Phil Collins right there. Love that song though. Yeah, I think Old Bull knows what I'm doing. It's not going to work here. I might have to smoke this hot as is, man. I might need to re-moisturize it. All right, that part got in. There's always that. I've got brain. I can tan it with brain and then put it over. No, it's starting to give now. So Old Bull, what I was doing with the wet rags is I'm trying to get some moisture back in this super dried out hide so I can get it in a tanning bath, or get it in here, but it looks like I'm going to have to basically force it in here. And hopefully it will hydrate with that vinegar solution, but it's going to have to get rolled up to get in there. This is a vinegar pickle solution. If it is too dry, as you bend it, you can crack the grain side and weaken the skin. Cover the flesh side with wet towels for a bit. All right, we'll do that. I don't want to crack anything. We'll do that because I got it kind of, it's a little bit moisturized. Let me sit it somewhere else and let it kind of work a little bit, Old Bull, because I trust your wisdom and your judgment, gentleman and a scholar. Let me take my advice, take advice from somebody who knows. All right. Kind of what I was trying to do essentially, but it didn't. It's a little tougher with my space here. I got to find a spot where I can lay this guy out here. It's going to be kind of schmutzy over there. And then there is a greasy factor too. So like if you have grease on it and stuff, you're supposed to wash it with soap. I don't want it to crack on the grain side, Old Bull. That is not what I want to happen. So I'm going to do this. I got these moist rags. I'm going to cover it down here with these evenly. Let them sit on there for a little bit. Don't want to mess the hide up. Don't want to disrespect an animal, right? All right. This I think can go straight in because it fits straight into the material. The vinegar bath should actually lock that hair in, just as if you were to smoke it. Like the brain doesn't lock the hair in, right? It's the smoke from the traditional American and Native American method. The smoking part is what locks the hair in or does the preservation. We'll leave that in there. This is a muskrat hide right here. Put that in there. Let that sit in that brine for a bit, and then I'll do some fleshing. What is that? It's muskrat. You know what a muskrat is? You can go get one of these towels. I got a towel over here. Yes, this is from a muskrat. See, Li Ning says he's got to go to bed. Take care, Li Ning. We're located on the east coast of the United States. Located on the east coast of the United States. I'm going to put this down for a minute. That's way heavier with that salt and vinegar in there. All right, let's take this other pelt. That is it was this animal right here. This poor guy. This is a larger animal right here, and I'm going to have to take my blade out and do some fleshing here. So viewer discretion is, of course, advised. Not much love to go around. So now I got that Phil Collins song stuck in my head. So we got large kind of chunks on here that need to come off. If I can get up under them, you can pull them off mostly. I don't know. Sometimes after it's salted, these bits are easier to get off. When I first worked the hide, I couldn't get these chunks off easily. Do this barehanded usually, but with the salt, it's starting to work my hands a little bit. Let me drop this down a bit. It's kind of high for me. The other thing you can use is a PVC with a round end on it to do this. I'm not going to scrape this off. I've already been through that phase. I'm going to peel this stuff. You don't want to put holes in the thing, you know. Sometimes if you can get your hands around that, that's what you want to do right there. Let me get my phone where I can see the chat. Mike said by the time this is over, I'm going to be a polyglot. Can somebody remind me what a polyglot is? What I thought was, oh, gee, I see I just put a spot in that hide. You want to be careful doing this, man. You want to mar up. This is like this is up on the neck area. This meat really likes to stick. See if I can do it like this. Move this out of the way here. This was out several days. I salted it several times in a row. Y'all see I'm getting that meat to free up from it. If I can't get it, then I take the knife. Just do a little bit of help there. But I might actually harm myself there. This hide itself weighs like, I mean, 30 pounds or something. It's really heavy. Oh yeah, that's right. Someone that's a language, a linguist. Get this thing in place. Scraping I can do on this thing, but peeling is a little more difficult. I didn't expect I would be doing a lot of peeling today, but I should have thought again about it. Once you get it, it's not difficult. This one's holding on tight. And then kind of if you've salted the mess out of it, what you can't get today, you probably can get tomorrow as long as it's kind of preserved. Hey, thank you for the Justin, appreciate you. Sending stuff. All right, so that's what I just pulled off of there. Little skin steak. Sorry to gross anyone out, but you know. The other side now. Now I can get those little chunks off later. I'm not gonna mess with those. I want to get these big pieces off before they what's the word I'm looking for here, Mike? Yeah, become a member today, guys. We do this most days of the week. And the holidays kind of interrupt some stuff, but we are committed to this kind of stuff. Oh, that's coming. To look at that. That's coming off a lot easier. Come on now. See, put your fingers up under there. Put your fist up under there. Hey. Yeah. So resalt it, I suppose, is what he's getting at, or something like that. Yeah, it's salt dried. That's true. Yeah. I mean, and I know the traditional method would be to brain cure it like as soon as you fleshed it, and then smoke it. You know, and that preserves it. I'm gonna try that. I have the brain, but I don't know which hide I want to do that with. I mean, this one, I guess if I salt cured it, I can't do that anymore according to Old Bull. That is gonna be tougher, just like the last one. Buncombe. We're near what you call it? So my apron that I'm going to get soon, or I'm going to make, is going to be exactly for this purpose, because, and I'm going to use leather for it, because obviously you get a lot of this schmutz on you. I'm going to grab this by this meat here and try to just pull away. I can see that there is some, what you call it, putrefaction going on in a section of this over here that I want to remove. So I want to get this meat off ASAP because it's putrefying. There's not much smell, but I can tell it's getting to that point. There's too much here. That's really on there. I almost need my bare fingers on that, man. My gloved hands don't really work that well on that. I wanted to get as much of the neck as possible this time, so I went up higher, and that's the part that's kind of got a lot of meat stuck to the tissue there, subdermal tissue. Let's move these antlers so a little freedom of movement here. Oops. God, on my foot. Get you back over here for a second. This animal, yeah, had a skull fracture at the antler burr. Not that I want to get into grotesqueness. This is not supposed to be exercising the grotesque, really. It feels like you're not going to be able to cut without cutting into the skin. Then you got to like find a new place a different place to end. This is my experience from what I've learned here. This is a really difficult spot here. Which explains why doing a full cape like a taxidermist does and putting an entire deer back together like can be extraordinarily difficult. I wanted to practice a little of that, so I kind of understood the muscles and the tissues of the face and things. So I did skin ahead. Yeah, this is a really difficult spot here. Yeah, that might be where I can grab it from. I wonder if y'all can hear that kind of sound of the flesh tearing away. Not to be grotesque again. I can tell you when it was fresh, it was way harder than this. So yeah. Not for the squeamish, y'all. I came pretty clean off there. And that's like the biggest piece of flesh. There's little bits on these edges. Oh, still some up here. I also have an X-Acto knife that I've been using. Tends to work for these situations. I don't know where I put it. Axis deer. That's what those type of deer are called. Did Mike already answer that? What we got here? What's in the chat? When you donate jewels, so like each jewel is a penny, Justin. So thank you for your donation. I did see you throw those at me. I appreciate you, Justin. Yeah, so I think each jewel is a penny, and it does get given to us here at Dad's workshop. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good. Appreciate you. Yeah, sometimes they give them to you for free to kind of give to a creator, or if you spent other things, you have memberships. Sometimes they give you some. So yeah, thank you for throwing those out there, Justin. We appreciate you, man. Shout out to Justin for the gifts and the thumbs up you just sent right now. Appreciate that. All that goes towards our channel, so it is not nothing. So when you send 100, that's like a Tree Tramp said you can use natural tannins to keep the hide from molding and rotting and also keep the hair on. That's what this is right here. These are tannins from oak caps and pecan shells that I've concentrated down. This is a pretty concentrated tannin right here. So yeah, that's what I use. Hey man, no problem. I will keep on doing what I'm doing. We'll keep it on here. This is what we do at Dad's Workshop. We get a trajectory. We go with it. All right, so get up under this right here. This is where the flesh is under this membrane here. If I can get this up right here, it's going to be the whole all the way up to the top of the neck. And the salt will irritate your skin, like if you're in contact with it for a long time. It's hard on the skin. It's like being worked with sandpaper, kind of. There we go. I think I got that edge now. Yep. Whoop. Now I saved the tail on this particular deer, so you got to do a little extra work because that's right near the anus. Not to be gross again, you know, but it's a little more work if you're saving that much. Try to save as much as I could. How old are you, Justin? Not to like ask you a personal question, but if you're I mean, you're hunting age, right? Like if your dad doesn't like hunting, some old guys, man, they get tired of killing stuff, you know. My dad's got a lifetime license. It's very difficult to get him to actually go hunting. It's more to take me out because you have to have a license to go on state in state forest, even just be out there randomly. You got to have a license in Virginia, at least state or national forest. which I don't know if you guys know this, but I think there's some like loopholes in some of the South where if you like grow up and you go to a hunt club or you hunt on private land, you don't have to have a license. So a lot of young boys out here never actually go through firearm safety training. Not saying that it's resulted in a lot of bad stuff because I don't have any data to prove that, but like I think it's like I had to get my license going through those channels. You have to get firearm safety, you have to go through a bunch of it's like at least an 8-hour course. And like people who get cited for stuff, they have to do it more than once. So don't go out and poach. I got that off. But yeah, it's that's a basic requirement in most states. So I don't know where you're at. Yeah, Oak Ridge taxidermist said, I think everyone should have to do firearm safety. I agree 100% with that. I think there is loopholes in Virginia that allow young boys to actually, and this is not, I only know Virginia, that if you're on private land or you hunt in a hunt club, you don't have to have a license. But if somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I think that those boys can actually grow up and never actually hold a hunting license and never actually go to firearm safety. Not saying they don't know how to handle a firearm, because most of their dads do, but they grow up without having to do the same requirements like an average Joe would have to do to go out and go hunting, like a public land hunter, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. If your parents, your dad's a member of a hunt club, or you're a member of a hunt club, it may be different. People are allowed to hunt on their own individual property, not out of season though. So you have to be in season. You can't just take animals any time of the year. I don't know how a game warden would go on your land, because I think unless they had a warrant like any police officer. So there's probably a lot of shenanigans that goes on with that. I got this raccoon pellet over here too that's sitting in a brine bath. That one was on the funky side. So I lost the little edge on this piece right here, and I'm afraid to. I don't want to cut into the hide here. Justin said I'm in Virginia. I think you're right. I did see that. 11 is an age to hunt with your dad. That's an age that, I mean, as long as you've got some sense of firearm safety, and you have an adult with you who knows what they're doing, then that is an okay. It's legal in Virginia to go out. You go early. Youth week and youth weekend would be when you could go out. Your dad can take you out before everyone gets out there, so before it gets a little bit dangerous, and they can take you out. If you're a public land hunter or whatever, you can go hunt on public land with your dad at age 11 for sure. And there's some rules about it. I'm not a game warden, so you're gonna have to check those. But there are rules. Like your dad has to be there. He can't be hunting for himself. He kind of has to be a hunt for you. And then the basic rules of fairness and stuff are usually in place. But there are definitely rules. Because in Virginia and in most states in the United States, it's not legal for a juvenile to possess a firearm. It has to basically be your dad's firearm, right? And so he has to take you out. It has to be a father-son experience. Yeah, I'm not going to say an 11-year-old should go hunting by themselves. You definitely shouldn't. But that is the age that some boys learn how to hunt. And it is legal in most southern states, I know, to take your son at that age. I have never taken my sons are. I've got sons around that age, and I don't think I would take them. They're not really interested in that anyway. Also, if your dad has a friend that hunts, who's a trusted adult, and he has a license, the adult has to be fully licensed. Okay, that's another rule that I know. I can say that one for sure. You can't go out with a random adult. If you have your dad has a friend who's a hunter, and he wants to take you out, that's also a possibility. It has to be a licensed hunter, and your dad needs a license to take you out too. So if your dad doesn't have one, he has to, go through the proper channels to do that, which means, like I say, firearm safety and all of that. This isn't really a hunting channel. What we're doing is kind of raw material processing, and this is in this case processing animal. I got a lot of the flesh off of there right there. What I'd like to do this is now salt it again. So I tried the power washer method, guys. It didn't work for me, but maybe if you aim it, I saw them come in at a shallower angle. Anybody who knows about power washing to flesh a hide, chime in here and let me know what you know. But I struggled with that technique. It didn't work for me at all. Yes, in Maryland, Oak Ridge taxidermist says in Maryland, which is not far from Virginia, youth hunters must be with a licensed hunter over 21. Good point. No offense. Well, I mean, that's kind of offensive, old bull, but like personally, once or twice, nobody skins out here, old bull. Everybody throws the skin out to the wilderness. So yeah. But the skin's been fleshed, man. That's the second going over. I mean, if you're here to criticize, you could criticize. I mean, I'm willing to take advice, but to put me down is not really, that's not necessary. You got a channel, old bull? Let me check out your channel, man. Heather, check out old bull's channel. I mean, I believe you know what you're doing. I do the best I can, old bull. I'm not a professional taxidermist. I'm not a professional anything. Nobody on here is claiming to be a professional. And plus, you got your way. I understand that. Thank you, Oak Ridge. Appreciate you, man. There's different ways. There's, they say 1,000 ways to skin a cat. Here's a funky raccoon pelt that I have. I was removing the hair from this. It's been in a vinegar bath for a while. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit longer. That one I'll put into a tannin bath fairly shortly. I have another piece, and I think I brought it out. That didn't turn out bad at all. So in my opinion, it's still working. It's still tanning. It takes about a year to tan. I'll check out your channel, old bull, because I'm sure I can learn a lot from you. You know how that is. Hey. Oh, is that what he's trying to say? Okay. I don't want to take anything the wrong way, Like I'm not an expert. Nobody on here claimed that. So somebody said something about natural tannins. That's obviously what's in here. This is a hide that has no fur on it. So, I'm not trying to preserve the fur. I would call this actual pelt leather, because it is leather at this point. It's just not completely tanned. And I'll show you the grain side and the suede side is kind of, I had to degrease this weekend. I actually took it off, dried it out, and that's what we're looking at for like a finished product leather right there. You can kind of see. This is the grain side. Yeah, I've never fleshed in here really, man. I really just kind of scraped. Now this is getting salt on it. I don't want that to happen here. So you guys can kind of see it's getting a texture on there. It's a little uneven in color. I checked it the other day to see how far through it's tanned. It's about tanned about a third of the way through. So what I've been doing with this is squeezing it out, adding tannin to the water. That's a fairly strong tannin bath in there. I have another mixture. I want to empty this mixture out a little bit and put new in there. But the more you work it, kind of, the more soft and supple it should end up. This is a month approximately into tanning. Definitely the flesh side is rough on this one, you know. So it's not great, but I did take it and washed it down with soap on this side. I completely emptied all the tannins out, washed the whole skin out, and then redid the suede side. What I want to do is take a brush, like a wire brush, and brush the bottom so that the little lumps aren't in there anymore. But in general, I'm not too upset about the quality. It's gonna the tone should even out as it tans a little longer. The black spots I was worried about are gone. The flesh seems to be tanning. The grain side seems to be elegant and good looking. Like, it's not bad. Oh, thank you, Justin. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, so this is mimosa and pecan shells, pecan hulls, and acorn caps, mimosa pods. So it's a mixture of different things, and they're all ground up, and I put them into a blender. Sometimes, actually, I'm told that not to do that now. And then I boil them, take that, put more stuff in it, concentrate it so it kind of looks like that. And then that's what's added to the water. But that's kind of what it looks like, finished product wise. Yeah. So it ain't too bad, guys. You know, Calvin does have a little spidey sense for this stuff. Maybe my fleshing could be improved. We all can improve in things. I do want to get this color even here. I think that has to do with me introducing acorns, and they're darker. But just the more and more oak I add to it, I think it'll get a little bit uniform. It'll become more uniform. Also, when I'm squeezing it out, if I'm not squeezing the entire pelt out evenly every time, then the only spots that are absorbing tannins are the spots that are squeezed out. So it's absorbing the tannins unevenly, right? So you got to work the mess out of it constantly. Squeeze everything out of it, add more tannins, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that in a second. Also got to keep it at temperatures above 45 degrees-ish. It's got to be warmer than that or it won't tan. Worked more, and then now I've sopped more water out of it. I'm going to take this right here, doobity doop. Right, this is a mildly concentrated tannin solution. Hey, welcome to Mainly Off Grid. Hey, check everybody's channel out. Mike is making stuff, and everybody else here. They've all got channels. I think Old Bull even has a channel. But we love our folks. Thank you to everyone, including Old Bull, for his knowledge. I do not take that for granted, and I do know I always have things I can learn. So what I'm going to do now is, I hope I didn't zoom in too far. I hope I zoomed back out. I'm a little lagged on my feed. All right, I'm zoomed out. So I'm going to take this Tanic solution, I'm gonna put this up here so y'all can see what it's tanning. It's just like a animal food bin. Probably it would benefit you to like squeeze this over, wrap it around a post, squeeze all the moisture out of it every day. As I'm looking at it, the solution that's coming out of it is pretty light. So I'm wanting to change the whole tanning bath in here, and I'll probably do that later today to being stronger. So now we're gonna put that in there, and I don't mind if it's a little wrapped up. What you don't want is parts of it floating. Y'all can see this is not weak, but it's not super strong. Kind of like a really strongly brewed tea. I'll get all of that stuff in there. And it should absorb in there. We should get more color, you know. And you do this every day, several times a day. Rinse and repeat, literally. Literally rinse and repeat. All right. You want it to take in all those new tannins that were just introduced to the water. And I've tanned a bunch of stuff, and it has stopped putrefaction, so I don't have any rotten smells in here. Really, there's no rotten smells, which I love. I love that. We're going to leave this the way it is. I'm going to show you all those hocks, the leg hocks that I did. Yeah, you probably could use a mop bucket to, I mean, definitely I get a spiritual pain in my forearms. Like my forearms are sore from squeezing. So if there's any other way, definitely wrapping around a post will help. I'm going to zoom in on these hocks. They're turning out really good. Really tanning quickly. I don't mind using my bare hands on this either. And some of these were in like rough shape. Like my hand is too wet to even adjust the all right, so this is a leg hawk right here. Y'all can see leg hawk. And these have been going really fast. This was from a pretty stinky animal. No smell at all anymore. It's already preserved. I'm not afraid to handle it. And it maintained, somehow I was able to maintain its coat. These are really cool. It's kind of a shame that these are wasted on the animal most of the time. Now that's a little rough there, but y'all see it's getting tannin penetration there. If people are like, why does Calvin do this? Why was he doing woodworking and woodbending? Yeah, I was, man. This is Calvin right here. Calvin is a guy who goes down the rabbit hole. You know, that is me. Any one thing, I'm a person of inspiration. If I feel an inspiration, I go with it. This is another one of those nice hawks too. This is from a bigger animal. See, they all have, every animal has a different pattern, you know, and they're getting tanned. I cut one off today to see. It's only a little ways through, but it's moving quickly for the size. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take these hawks, and since we squeezed them out, put them back in there, and we're going to add tannin because they're absorbing the tannin. So we'll do that from this jar right here. This is strong tannin mixture. And let that sink in there. And just more time, right? Let's check up on that hide that I had that I was trying to rehydrate. And see if we got it somewhere where it's kind of almost back to, if I can almost roll it into a so it had the moist rags on it. This one, man, it's gonna take more time, I think. I mean, this was skinned well. I don't see any problem with that. Like, there's always a little flesh on the backbone, but look how cleanly that was pulled. I stuck my arm up under that and pulled that up from the body. That was not, that was fleshed really well. Straight up, I didn't even have to do much to this one. So I will give myself credit for that. Right now, though, I am dealing with the problem that it is super stiff. So this is what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna try. I'll use some brain or some egg yolk, and I'll work it into this hide, and we'll probably do that next time. For now, I'm gonna actually just like leave rags on it and let it just sit there and kind of rehydrate a bit. Hopefully, it doesn't putrefy. It shouldn't in this cold temperature out here. It's very cold out here. Like the guy said, I don't want to ruin the grain side. I want it to split on the grain side. So whatever it takes to kind of get it back to a moldable pelt again. Oak Ridge, a saltwater bath. Yeah, I got one of those right here. Maybe I need a bigger tote to put it in so it fits in there. Yeah, I have that. I don't know if you were in when I started that. Old Bull said. I also use the washer spin cycle when preparing commercially tanned deer to be restretched. Old Bull also said, Daniel, I just heard of that awakening a few days ago. Use an old washer and put it in the spin cycle. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, mop bucket, that's a good idea too. Because I definitely have seen people squeeze it over, like a dowel and wring it out on a dowel for sure. I've seen that multiple times. That is probably not a bad idea. This, I want to get this. I don't want it to sit in here like this. I'm afraid if it gets cold, it'll freeze like this too, and I don't want that to happen either. If it's frozen, I want it to be like I know it and it's on purpose. Yeah, I think that saltwater bath is working on the muskrat pelt, so I don't want to force it. I don't want to crease it or anything, but I am going to. I think I'm going to work on like getting it in here a little bit at a time. All right, let me wipe up, and then. All right, making a promise right now, and here's my promise. I'm going to work on my giveaway box tomorrow. I have a giveaway box for this channel, and I want to just tease it all the time, and I want to keep working on it. It's back there. You can kind of see it right there behind that cherry slab. I want to work on this box, but I'm getting caught up with doing more tanning stuff. Obviously, you all know who I am. So we'll work on that giveaway box tomorrow. Yeah, Oak Ridge Taxidermy. Saltwater bath and rehydrated. Old Bull said, I agree. Oak, using a large plastic trash can. Okay, that makes sense. I got one of those. Old Bull. That's a good call. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna say goodbye for now. Appreciate all the jewels from Justin. Shout out to all my friends here. Avaz Beck, welcome. Anyone who was in the chat, Old Bull, appreciate your wisdom. Oak Ridge, also your wisdom. Appreciate that. Mike, thanks for being here. What was that? Whoa, Daniel. Daniel just sent 10 memberships. Well, all right. We got to do a drum roll for that. 10 memberships. We got to get the drum out. That's a big deal right there. That's a big deal. That sounded like someone from Minnesota, man. What a deal. Hey. What a deal. Daniel, we thank you. And we offer you ceremonial drum roll with way too short dowels. Can't put my whole hands around them. I can't hardly roll with it. Thank you, Daniel. 10 gift memberships. That's a big gift right there. Shout out to all the gift members. I don't know who they said they were. Let me see who they were. Oh, Woodchucker, Buffalo Tracker, Firefighting Responder, like that. Freya is Love. Oh, I like that name. That's a cool name. Arsen Sakyan, Depression Talk. I know DT. Andrew Hormazabal. I've seen him over here too. Nurse D. Lots of these memberships here. Craig Townsend. I think I met Craig before. And Storming in the Woods or Storm in the Woods. Shout out and welcome to all those new members. Thank you to Daniel for those memberships. It's a huge deal. Huge deal, man. Yeah, well, that's what we should do. We should, I mean, we're going to spin it, and hopefully a new person does get a gift. This is the box we're working on now. Maybe I'll throw a little, I was going to throw some soap in there and maybe a little soap holder. A little single dovetail ash box. We like to craft stuff here in the workshop. Just wanted to stay here to say thank you to Daniel for that. Oh, DT said, gift membership, thank you kindly. Appreciate that, man. Oh, yeah, we do have, Old Bull, we have 2 rainwater catchment systems. Most of the water you see me use here is rainwater. Yeah, we do rainwater catchment here big time. Yep. That's been my thing for at least a decade. I've caught rain. I don't know what I would do. I don't ever give my plants hose water. Never. So rainwater is big around here for sure. I'm appreciated. I'm so appreciative to Daniel. See you later, man. He said, it's hard to catch the early streams. Yeah, it's a bit early. It's been a bit early. I'll do some afternoon ones and we'll stretch it into the afternoon a bit. Shout out to everybody who popped in today, all my friends, all the fam. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. We are going to be out of here, and we will see you again tomorrow, same time, or relatively the same time, same place. Love y'all. Do the next right thing. Bye.